Welcome to In the Know with Steph and Joe. In the Know with Steph and Joe is all about small business development. These two entrepreneurs bring real life experience, laughter, and, well, just a ton of knowledge on how to build your small business and make it thrive. After all, this is your creation. Now learn how to make it sing. In the Know with Steph and Joe airs Fridays at 3 p.m. right here on 216 The Net. Like, follow Steph's books and Restoration One of Cary, along with 216 The Net on Facebook, and subscribe to the 216 The Net YouTube channel. Welcome in to In the Know with Steph and Joe. Do not adjust your volume. Joe is not here today.
What?
Notice that playing the part of Joe Turner today is Dawn Bremer. Customer service today, Steph.
Yeah.
Welcome back. It's been a while.
I know. I feel like I haven't been here for 3 weeks. I was like, I don't think I'm going to remember how to do the show.
I think you'll figure it out.
I'm like, I feel like such an outsider. And now I'm sitting like, oh, speaking of customer service to start off, since Dawn is our guest,
Right.
I gave her my seat and spot, and now I have to sit directly under this light that is so bright on my head.
Exactly. That's why you're there, not the old lady next to you.
So.
And now I've got your microphone right. So they could hear you. It just you were not speaking.
Oh.
Now you are.
So I guess Dawn was talking in the green room before we came up here about the customer service and quality customer service that I provide as her being my guest, with the fact that she has to bring her own snacks and everything to the
Thank you.
to the green room.
I literally gave her this earlier to give to me since she doesn't have snacks in her green room. Who doesn't have snacks in a green
I've
room?
got some snacks if you need. I've got some Dr. Pepper too.
I will even share my snack with you.
What do you
I
want?
feel like it's just different now that I'm not like in the same building anymore. I feel like I'm always like I don't have anything with me anymore.
I used to get alcohol. I used to get snacks. Don't eat the yellow ones. They're mine. What great jelly beans the green room has.
We've got some cough drops. Some heavenly chunks.
That was named after me.
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
So
How's
I guess
the cookie making going?
I think she was just finishing up when I last talked to her for the ribbon cutting. But
Let's talk about when is that?
so it's April 23rd from 5 to 7.
2024.
Yep, 2024. So it's a Tuesday. So my parents and my grandma are flying in from various states to attend the and Kent, you get the
I
hello.
don't take offense. I'm always surrounded by women. So.
And we're
Just
going
one
to
of the
see
girls.
Used to it.
we're going to see her beautiful new office
Yes.
building. It's huge, lots of space.
So everybody will see the office, and I mean, some people have obviously gotten a sneak peek. Kent seems to like our doorbell the most. I think that's his favorite feature of our new
That's
office.
honest to God, the truth.
You just like to ring her bell? Is that what you're saying?
Welcome. Hello. Great.
So, but yeah, so it'll be a fun thing. We have games, we have prizes, we have
April
sorry.
20 the 3rd.
We have something even more important than any of that. We have Linda's famous cookies and calculators.
yes, my mom made cookies and she made chocolate calculators, so we'll have those to give away at the ribbon cutting. We have all sorts of different
Nothing
things.
else matters but your mother's cookies.
And everybody will be able to meet my team because I invited all of my clients, some of my clients from everybody.
To meet you too.
Yeah,
'Cause
in
you
person.
haven't met them
I've
yet.
only met them on Zoom, so it
That's
should
funny.
be
Our staff is amazing.
it should be interesting.
Great team.
But-
You do have a really great team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like my team.
Yeah, and you seem to have a lot of fun with them. And I think that one of the things talking about customer service is I think that when your staff or the team or the people that you work with, your colleagues, you have a good time, you get along, it's a safe and warm environment, you get a lot done. You have productive employees. So I think you've done a great job creating that.
Oh, look
You're
at
welcome. I said something nice,
Hmm.
and that's been recorded. I have to take it back now.
that.
Yeah, we do that after.
But so I know we didn't do like the formal introductions, but I know everybody knows you out there in the 21/6 the Net family. But in case anybody doesn't know you, why don't you introduce and then also bring out your whole I have your whole Rolodex of community service things that you do in case you forget something.
I cannot remember what I do. So I am Dawn Bremer of the Bremer team. Forgot about your little shenanigans. At least it wasn't the toilet flush.
Yeah, it's coming.
So I'm Dawn Bremer with the Bremer team of Keller Williams Success in McHenry on Green Street, where we have a real estate company. We help with all your real estate needs. What else do you want to know? What did you ask me? I got distracted.
So what are other things that you do in the community of McHenry County?
I am one of the wonderful commissioners of planning and zoning for the city of McHenry. And I also serve as school board president for District 156. Which is where I have to be after here.
I thought I tried to stop it. And just kept going.
Because we are having a ribbon cutting for our new baseball field. So that is where I'm going to go after.
I feel like you're forgetting like 3 things.
I am the president of Kids in Need in McHenry County. And I am the head fundraiser for McHenry Junior Warriors. And I serve on a couple of other committees for real estate, professional standards for real estate. Yes. I do stuff like that. And I'm a single mom of 2 kids, single and available. Where's that? I said single and available.
Listen,
Okay, where's the clapping for that?
One's an adult.
All right, fine. One is 20.
There you go. There it is.
Let's go back to that.
Single and ready to mingle.
Yeah.
That's good customer service right there.
That's right.
So by you joining all of these community boards and groups, do you feel that gives you more of a competitive edge for a value add for the services that you guys provide at the Bremer team?
I think it does for a couple of different reasons. Number one, and it's a great thing to say, I'm in the know, like Steph and Joe. I'm in the know of what's going on in the community that I live and I serve, right? So we are licensed in all of Illinois. We service all of Illinois and southern Wisconsin, but I'm able to talk about what's going on in the community in McHenry County, what's happening. And so I do think that gives me a little bit of a edge up per se, right? For knowing about a lot of little stuff, what's going on to help people.
So a thing that Joe and I were actually talking about before we put together the show was that how do you think it is when you have something that's unique to your specific team that you guys offer? Do you get nervous sharing that customer service piece because of somebody else trying to duplicate it? How hard do you think it is to duplicate that level of customer service?
Well, that's a great question. So we do a lot of community things. I feel like in order to be successful in your business, you need to know the people in your community. And what a better way to know the people in the community than giving them a place to meet you and to give back to the community, right? So like every other month, I do a dog event where you can come to my office and have professional photos of your animal taken. We have dogs for adoption, and we have Reese's Barkery. We're doing that, in fact, tomorrow from 10 to 12. And I have seen all of a sudden other real estate professionals in the area posting and sharing events where you can go and now go to their office and take and get dog events. So I think I take it as a flattery, right? What I'm doing, they found joy in it and they want to do it. I think that people can recreate your ideas and events, but it all depends on where they're coming from to do it. So we don't do it with an ulterior motive to get something. We do it because we love dogs. I have dogs at my office all the time, and that's where I came from. So I think when you try to repeat what somebody's doing at their level, it may not come across as well because it's not as a genuine. You think it's more of a, you're doing it because you want to be like them in a way. So I can't read what any of those
So
say.
let's see. So Derek, hi Derek, happy Friday. Wicked Sense by Gabby, happy Friday. Mary, afternoon. Congratulations on your 2-year anniversary with insurance.
Oh yeah, Mary, hi.
I saw that on the Book of Face. Joe Cicero, when is there? Joe, I sent you an invite. It's April 23rd from 5 to 7. We talked about this literally in January.
And if you don't show up, she's going to kill you. So get in or get in the witness protection.
So Mary Shep says best form of flattery is duplication. She says thanks. And then what's that last one say?
Joe wasn't going to miss this live.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Great. Let's talk about customer service.
Tune in on Monday morning to hear what Joe has to say about this show.
Yeah, right. Joe's going to be like, well, you want to talk about a shit show.
But so, because when Joe and I were talking, I'm like, I don't have a problem. I share the same view you do about sharing out what I do, how I do it, and whatever. But I do these things because I enjoy doing them, or they're a passion project of mine. If I was to do something that I didn't like, everybody, even if you don't know me that well, would know that I'm not feeling that that situation.
Oh God, yes.
Like,
speaking of customer service, Shannon says, hey, drop the name of the man or spa responsible for Dawn's glow up. Hi, ladies.
I wish I had one, but I don't.
Says you look phenomenal.
Thank you. I have 2 great dogs that give me lots of love.
That's weird. Let's keep moving on.
Let's keep moving on. But like, so going back to what we were saying, so one of the things that I do is I like to teach. So I went to school to be a teacher, but I decided I didn't like to teach things I don't care about, right? I want to teach about things I'm passionate about. And so I'm really passionate about a few things, is teaching people how to do great listing appointments and pricing houses. Those are the 2 things that I know that I'm really good at. And I want to teach that. So I teach my exact listing presentation, exactly what I would do in somebody's house to other realtors in the community, in my offices, in my brokerage that I work. And people are always like, why are you giving them everything? Because it may not be conveyed the same way they can have it. We all have access to the same tools. We can all do the same research and figure out what it is, but it's how you feel it, nobody's going to duplicate what I do, but they can utilize the same tools for success.
So my cynical side wants to know, do you help these other or teach these other realtors your process? Because this way, when you or your team are on the buying side, it makes it so much easier because they've priced the house properly. There's not so much fighting back and forth. There's things that make your job easier when you're on the buyer side.
Well, not necessarily on the buyer side, because I don't take buyers.
Well, your team does.
My team does, right? But I do believe that if a house is priced appropriately, it would really stop the way over asking price and the perception, right, of houses are just so inflated.
So don't use Zillow?
No, you're saying? Do not use Zillow.
I feel like I was about to get a line of credit before Kent left banking. Like I needed.
No. But the truth is that yes, similar to. So what'll happen is a lot of the times when I go to price a house, I will look at somebody's previous listing, and they may say that the house has 1,850 square feet. So they base that value on that home at 1,850. But it could be a split level home, right? That has 1,250 square feet above ground and 1,000 square feet below ground. Well, that's technically not a 2,250 square foot house. That's a 1,250 square foot house with 1,000 square foot basement. So the pricing changes. So what happens is people go into people's houses and they're not looking up the right way to get the proper square footage. So they're not pricing these houses appropriately. So if we can teach people how to get the correct information to do their job, then it will trickle effect to everybody else's and stop all of the misinformation.
So I have a McMansion?
Yes, you have a McMansion.
Joe Turner.
Hey, Joe. Are you with the head Turner? Tell her happy birthday again. It was Carrie's birthday the other day.
Happy birthday. What's the thing above it say? The best thing?
Yeah, so Joe says the best thing. Joe Cicero. Too many Joes on this show, but they're in the know. the best thing you can do is market things you are passionate about because it's real.
100%.
Well, and we're talking about customer service, right? So
Mhm.
define good customer service for me.
Me?
Either one of you.
I can tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's listening. I mean, I think that it sums it up in a nutshell. Listening. What is the question that your customer has? What is the problem the customer has? Are you listening to them, and can you help them? If you listened well enough, you would either find out that you're not the right person for them or that you are. And if you're not, direct them into the right person that can. That's what I think customer service is, listening. I don't think people listen.
Yeah, I mean, listening's a big thing. I think being able to put yourself on their side of the table is a very big thing in customer service that not a lot of people have that skill to do. So if I have a client that has a pain point with even if they have a pain point with a service that I provide or don't provide, I'm able to understand their perspective as a small business owner because I am also a small business owner and I have gone through that. Potentially I've gone through that situation or in the middle of it or whatever, and I could provide some type of advice. But if somebody feels like you're on their team, I feel like then they are more apt to be loyal and they're more apt to stay with you longer and stuff. Like, so for example, like I know Dawn knows because she's been to my office and she's met all of my team. I am not good with warm and fuzzies. We all know this.
What?
I am not good with sending.
Did you know that?
Like,
I didn't.
Warm and fuzzy emails. It sounds very sarcastic. It's difficult for me to even say, and my face says it all, like when we're on Zoom or in person. So a lot of my staff have that ability to do. I know this is very shocking to everybody out there in the 21-6 that Mary says no.
Okay,
like
wait,
she can't believe that.
Wait, before you finish that, I will tell you, as one of your closest friends, you do have a sweet, sensitive side, and you share that to very few people. But you are actually, she's actually.
I've known her a long time. Haven't seen her.
Oh, I have some on video.
That's it. And
oh my God, Joe! Why you be telling people stuff?
What did he say?
Steph Crane's one.
I mean,
that's probably because you were just sucking out poop out of somebody's basement or something. Shannon says that's my favorite quality.
So it just, like I don't have that ability. Like I could have you tell me your pain point. I could come up with a bunch of solutions, but I'm somebody that can't deal with somebody that just wants to bitch. Like if you just want to complain and you don't want to accept any of my solutions and you just want to keep complaining, cool. I'm not the person to talk to for that.
Right.
But I have staff that would totally love to hear it because their responses way better than mine.
Colette, my 21-year-old, she resembles or has a lot of same qualities as you, right? I mean, and she works in the people business right now, and they're like, hey, you need to smile. She goes, oh, I am. Right?
This is my smile.
Right. You'll know when I'm not smiling. Right. And that's okay. I don't think that's a bad quality for customer service, right?
Right.
For good customer service. I think it's, you say listening, I think it's genuine, right? Because as you said a few minutes ago, go ahead, steal my ideas, but it's the intent, it's the heart behind it, right? So I would, if you were like, if Steph like smiled at me and was like, yeah, this is gonna be great, and like, I think she's gonna murder me.
I would feel the same way.
Well, you know how like wildly
uncomfortable
uncomfortable Dawn was when she like left for a couple weeks and I didn't see her, and then I saw her and I came up and gave her a hug.
Oh yeah.
She almost got off the phone.
I did.
Because she was like so.
Do you have cancer?
We were on vacation I was gone for like almost 13 days, and I came back and she literally came to my car. I was on the phone. I know exactly where we were. And I was on the phone and she's like, hold on the window. I was like, what? She's like, I missed you. I was like, and then I got up. She's like, give me a hug. I was like, am I dying? Like, what happened? Like, what happened? And it never happened again. Yeah, but she missed us. It was only because we were both gone at the same time. She was like on an island alone and was like, somebody save me.
And I think that is whatever the experience is. If I have a bad experience with your business, but you're genuine, it becomes you know what I'm saying? If I don't get the outcome that I wanted, but you're genuine, I'm like, yeah, but
yeah, I still liked it.
Yeah,
Right.
see, but I guess like to explain a little bit more about listening, what I mean is, so when I meet, I'll give it in a couple of different ways. One, when I go to a client's house and I meet them and they talk to me about their house and what their thoughts are about selling, my job is to listen to what they're talking about. Why are they selling? What do they need from me? How can I support them? Are they independent? Like, they're going to do it all by themselves? Do they need assistance? Do they need extra handholding? My job is to listen to what they're telling me they need. That's what I mean on that, right? And then how many of us have ever gotten super angry about something and we want to call customer service and complain, and you tell them what you're mad about, and then they're like, okay, so what was the issue? I'm like, I just yelled for 5 minutes and told you. Right. Or, you're yelling,
Right?
pharmacist. My joke at my office is I'm obsessed with the fact that I do not want to do business with auto dialers or auto answers, right? Like, I want customer service. I want to call customer service and I want somebody to say hi, and I'd like them to hear me. I don't want to have to push a button and then push another button and you have to listen for 12 minutes. And then you're fine, right? So my team is always like, when they hear me go, agent, they're like, lunch? Anybody? Like, we got to go.
Whoa,
I have gone from angry or upset to infuriated because I just want to talk to somebody and just talk. I don't want to spend 12 minutes on hold and 15 minutes talking to an animated phone to find out what I'm upset about.
Say it again. I didn't quite understand.
I don't know. I mean, like, I told Dawn my experience that I had when we were traveling recently at a hotel. We had to stay at a hotel one night to save money on the airfare. And I called and I told Dawn, and she's like, so, like, kind of like, what was the outcome? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I kind of panicked because, like, I don't ever really call the customer service line, like, ever, whether it's good or bad. Like, I never call. But I called because I was, like, really irritated because there was, like, bugs in the room. There was, like, ants in our room at our hotel. And then I went downstairs and I was like, hey, there's ants in the room. Can we have a different room? And then the lady's like, oh, so you want to move rooms because you have a bug? I could just send, the cleaning lady up there. And, like, no, it's not one bug. It's bugs, plural. And, like, it doesn't work like that. You can't just, wipe it up with some, like, a bleach towel and it it cleans up. So I'm like, I want a different room. So I got the different room, and then I called customer service, and then the lady on the customer service line was like, so what exactly do you want? And I was like, I don't know. I don't really want anything because I have a different room now that has no bugs, I think. I'm like, but, like, I just felt like it was just not cool.
I
don't know.
I missed the spot on the brochure that says my room would be full of ants.
Right?
Like, I didn't know what to do because I was like, I panicked and I was like, I don't know.
Shayna does bring up a good point. Is why do they make you listen to saxophone music?
Because they want you to bash your face in.
Yeah, right. Derek says, I'm right there with you, Dawn. Those automated phone options drive me crazy. I want to talk to somebody, get something accomplished, and have a resolution. The worst is when you wait, and then after 5 to 10 minutes, they send you to a voicemail.
Right. Or the best one, Derek, is how about when you finally get to somebody and you tell them your whole complaint, and then they put you on hold and say, hold on, let me get a supervisor. And then they leave you on hold for 13 minutes, and then they hang up on you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, and then you start it all over again.
You know what I do to those? That's when I'm like, okay, this is why I cannot use a telephone ever again for the next 24 hours because I'm going to scream at everybody.
Well, I'm not staying at that hotel chain anymore, but that's what I'm
Joe
doing.
from Dallas says, is customer service reactive only?
No.
Mm-mm. No.
I feel like when your customer service becomes reactive only, you don't have the proper things in place with your internal team or yourself in order to provide that customer experience that you're like, you can't always be reactive.
No. How Joe, my perspective of this is I want to always lead with the customer service that I would expect. Bottom line.
So my philosophy on this is customer service is a culture. Right. I had the opportunity to work for a blue hexagon bank, and or Octagon, maybe it's Octagon, I don't know. Anyway, Chase. And it was back in the day where they were going from sales, selling everybody as many credit cards and junk as they could, to the customer experience, right? So we didn't want to say customer service. And they had to change the entire culture of the bank to focus more on the experience rather than on sales. So I think customer service is a culture. Doesn't matter who you bring in to either one of your businesses, if they don't fit your culture on how you treat the customer, they're not on your team, right? So take, for instance, Southwest Airlines is what I'm thinking. Everybody, oh, they're so crazy and they do different things when they're saying the thing drops down and buckle and, well, they've had fun with it. And then other airlines have tried to duplicate it, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, and it just doesn't work. And
right.
Like, well, this is weird.
Right.
So I think that I don't think it's reactive. I think, Shayna says it's an art. Yeah, I think it's culture. I think it's in your DNA as a business.
So what job did you guys have that shifted your customer service direction for your own business? Like when you were working for somebody else and you reflect back as a business owner, you're like, that either you took something really, really good or something really, really horrible from that. And you're like, I would never.
I mean, I've seen tons of things I would say I would never. I mean, I don't know that there's a specific reason that I decided that customer service was super important. I would say, honestly, and I know this is on air and I apologize for saying this when it ever gets seen, maybe never. She doesn't. But I would say I watched how my mother treated people who were in the service industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I was embarrassed by it. And I realized that was something that I was going to make sure that I never saw anybody else get treated that way, and raise my children with understanding, manners and the way we treat people. And so I think it came from opposite of that.
Yeah. I think for me, it was when I did subprime lending for a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my manager at the time treated these customers as if they were constantly, like it was their fault that they were in these predicaments to need a subprime lender.
Mm-hmm.
And some people it was, and some people it wasn't, but who are you to judge? Like
Correct.
It's not your place. And watching the way that she treated those people really made me look at customer service differently. And now that I have my own client base, I feel like one of the biggest daggers that I could get from a client is if they ever said, well, I feel like I'm your small fish now that your business has grown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that is like such a big, like, knife to the heart for me, because I would never want any of my clients to feel like they're treated differently by the size of their company.
100%. And I will tell you, hopefully this person is listening. There's something that we're rolling out that's, I think, is pretty phenomenal on my team that I'm not ready to talk about yet, but
thanks for bringing it up.
Be quiet. It's an expensive investment for, an explanation, just another way to explain the process of stuff. And it's going to cost probably, I think it's like $40 per person who gets this. And somebody said I said, I want to do this. Let's start with a quantity of, let's say 100. And somebody said to me, that's expensive. Why don't you just do it on the higher end listings, right? Like just and my response is, at first I thought, yeah, you're probably right. And then I was like, no, they're the same, whether they're a $90,000 listing or a $2 million listing. They each get the same treatment as how we treat them.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't we give them each the same thing that we're doing? And that's kind of like the core of it, is exactly what you're saying. Whether you're a $90,000 client or a $90,000 loan or subprime loan, whatever it is,
Mhm.
you are the same. You get treated the same because you're deserving of the same, whether you are high end or low end.
So Shayna says, don't you feel like it's intertwined with integrity?
Absolutely.
Customer service.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that there's such a lack of customer service. There's a lack of a lot of issues, but there's a lack of customer service that our children and generations have seen. It went completely down, right? The way we treat people, customer service 30, 40 years ago is apparent now. And I think that just is another understanding of why there's so many issues in the world. You get disappointed. Somebody doesn't talk to you or treat you the way you want. It's an act of violence immediately. And that's because customer service, in my opinion, has gone away.
Well, Gen Xers, and I'm one of them, so I can speak for the entire generation.
Except for me, because I'm a Gen Xer too.
We've created the animal of bad customer service.
Absolutely.
And here's what I mean by that. We came up with the participation trophy.
Oh, God.
Right? So you didn't ever have to try.
Right.
So now we've got a workforce out there that goes, all right, okay, you hired me.
Right.
No, but you're supposed to help the customers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So now we're
and then you're not
the
going to
muscle
last
we made.
here. That's okay. I'll just get unemployment.
Yeah. Or somebody else.
Fine.
Yeah, go ahead. And so they're just happy to put on the shirt or the uniform or whatnot
and collect a paycheck.
And collect a paycheck. So that's why we go into places and we're like, could anyone just help? And somebody's on their phone or they're standing in a group chatting, whatever the case may be. And you're like, now my family knows, right? If we're at a restaurant, Dawn, you have seen this. I think you've seen it. Mary's seen it. Is if I need to get the waitress's attention, I don't flag them down.
Oh no! Can we show it since we're on camera?
Yeah.
So if you've ever had the privilege to eat in a public restaurant with Kent, if he doesn't even turn to look for where the waitress is, this is what he does. So anyway, I was just talking and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm waiting for the staff to see my hand. They'll see it." And sure enough, the bartender or the server comes. Yes, I'm like, "What? What?"
So I gotta do.
He literally just
raise
does
your
this.
hand.
He just raises his hand. You don't even.
And it wasn't even our server.
No, because they're all like, somebody had this man put his hand down. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, they're just shutting up the folks. Yeah, eye contact counts as customer service now.
Yeah, it is true.
Did you make eye contact?
That is 100% true,
so
Sheena.
true.
So do you
like it when you walk into a restaurant or to a store and there's a worker and they clearly hear the bell ring or they hear somebody walk in and they never look up, and then you're just kind of there, and then finally you're like, "Hi, hi, do you see me?"
Yeah, right.
Right. Well, I had like a whole customer service. Like I had just had a whole conversation, Bridget and I, when we went to Atlanta for the trade show. We were sitting there at the bar the night before having a whole conversation about manners and customer service and what I don't know how we got on this topic, but we did. And then the next morning I messed up so big. Like after saying all that stuff, that it was a do as I say, not as I do moment.
Oh,
that I walked up to the person that was at the front counter and we were checking out. And I was like, I walked up to her, didn't even say anything other than, do we leave the keys in the room or do I give them to you? And then she's like, "Oh, good morning. Thanks for coming to the front desk." And I was like, "Oh shit." I'm like, "Yep. Sorry for being an asshole. My bad. Good morning. I hope your morning is great. But what do I do with these keys? I have to get to the airport." But yeah, like it was like a whole moment in manners. But I was like, oh God.
Yes.
Can you give good customer service 100% of the time?
No.
What would keep you? What would prevent you from that?
I don't feel, one, I know for a fact I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And two, my customer service might not be the same as your customer service expectation. So I feel like it's a situation where you just can't please 100% of the people. Like somebody is always going to leave a little like, oh, that was just okay. You know, they're going to feel like they.
And
you know.
And the reason why I ask is right now, especially if you're an entrepreneur, the big thing is Google reviews and blah, 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 right? And oh my God, they're going to leave a 1-star or a 5-star, or, you know what I mean? Seems like we're more concerned about what they're going to give us on the survey rather than delivering excellent customer service. What can you
Well,
do it every time?
Well, no, absolutely not. But I think one of the keys in being a business owner is that when you realize that you are not able to deliver the same customer service to this particular person or group, that you find somebody in your business that they can relate to and have them give that great customer service. There are times where, I'm sorry, we're all going to be honest, the sound of somebody's voice isn't what you mesh with. Their tone.
I'm on a call.
Right? Their tone. You can tell that. I can tell in a few seconds the way that somebody comes on the line, whether it's somebody that is going to trigger a behavior back that may not be the best customer service or not. And then I may say, I'm not available to handle this. Let me get somebody else. And then I will get somebody who I know is a great fit to give them the customer service that they deserve. I think it's identifying and knowing your limits. Like Stephanie would not be somebody I would want to call and complain to, because in her tone, in 2 seconds, I would know that she's going to cut me. So does that make sense? So I wouldn't speak to her. In 2 seconds, I would know. Yeah, I'm not going to talk to you. One of my craziest stories ever, it's also customer service when you're working with somebody who's trying to do a presentation to you or whatnot, right? You still have to have some customer service back, but I won't tell you who it was. I think if you all knew anybody on my team, you would know in a minute who it was. Do not say the name. But somebody came into our office to do a presentation, and 5 minutes into the presentation, I was not there. I heard about this later, because if I was there, I would have kicked them. But they apparently got up and was like, yeah, you and I, we're never going to see eye to eye, and I'll never be giving you business, and got up and walked away. And I know you can all tell who it was, but that would have been a Steph thing, right? Yeah.
I don't see the problem. She was very honest. I don't like wasting people's time, because I value my time to the nth degree. Like them. So I'm just saying, the person did that other person a service by respecting their time. They should be appreciative of the level of respect she had for their time to be able to pitch to somebody that would be their client.
Her point is, it was a waste of their time and my time and everybody's time. I had things to do. But I would never have done. I was horrified to hear that.
And I love that you're going down this, because I think
says the person that wants to leave 5 minutes early today.
Good customer service is a two-way street. I can lay out a bed of roses for you, the red carpet, pop champagne.
Absolutely.
And if you aren't going to play my game, you're going to be like, this idiot wasted all the money on
a
bed of roses and champagne. Right. All I wanted, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think the customer has a huge part to play in customer service.
100%. And it is also, I can't tell you how many times that we've had something happen and a big experience happen, and all of a sudden you call, right? And you say, hey, I always come at a point where I say, I want to speak to the manager or whatever. I would want to know if this was happening in my business, and I just kind of want to tell you. And you can tell they're not listening to you. They're like, oh, I can offer you this. I'm not asking for anything. Mm-hmm. Don't always just throw a gift or money or a discount to people who are complaining. They may not ever want that. They just want to be heard. Yeah. And that is why I say listening. Sometimes I'll say, well, they'll be like, oh, let me offer you that. I didn't ask for anything. That's not what I'm calling for. I do not want anything. I just want this to be known so you can address it. Because if you don't, you can't fix the problem.
Right.
So somehow it's just, let's give them as much as we can give them to shut them up.
So a lot of big box retailers now have self-checkout lanes.
Yes.
And I see a ton of, you're stealing jobs. I'm never going to use it. Why are you checking my receipt if you trust me to check? There's all these things, right? And these are the same people who got upset when the restaurant took away the salad bar.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you take away the salad bar?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you're complaining about checking yourself out, but you'd have got up and served yourself after everybody has sneezed and grubby hands all over everything, right? Right? That's why I say I think the customer plays a huge part in customer service.
I agree.
And I'll be honest with you, there are times where people have given me top shelf and I've just had a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I'm like, just don't say 3 words to me. I want to come in, get my shit. I just show me where the peanuts are, whatever, right? And then you get out in your car or you get home or whatever. You're like, God, I was a dick to that guy. They were having a good day, and I just,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Have you
Yeah.
ever like been in a moment where you've had like been in a bad day and then someone gives you like really good customer service and you're like, thank you.
yes.
Like I was in such a shit ass mood until like you just said whatever phrase you said, just totally like popped me out of my own like anger bubble.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Do you know where that was? You got a story on that?
No, I mean, it just, I mean,
never
first of all,
happened to you?
it happens to me all the time. I get so focused on my job, so focused on fixing, a lot of my job in real estate. And Kent, this is fire, putting out fires.
All the time.
And it's exhausting. And sometimes you can go from one fire to another fire, or, the problem has multiplied and you got to call 1,200 people to tell them it's taken care of, just stop bothering me. And sometimes I get to a point where I'm like, I am just wound so tight that I snap at everybody. And my team has come up with funny ways. I find humor to like snap me out of it. If you have a really good laugh, like it makes everything go away. And so they have taught, it's learning how to handle situations of people, right? And so humor to me is what gets me out of it and brings me back. And then I'm like, oh my God, I was such a bitch right now, wasn't I? And they're all like, yes, welcome back.
Yeah.
They were just joking during, I obviously changed my eating habits and stopped eating a lot. And now when I say the words, I'm really hungry, guys, they know it's like 20 minutes until like you're all going to die. So either they leave or they start putting food on my desk and stuff. And they just joked the other day that they wanted to get break in case of emergency. If they ran out of snacks to feed me, who could hit the glass to break for an emergency? But like, I find it funny that they know what to do when you have that. You need those people around you.
Yeah.
And it's customer service to me to save the rest of the people.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't really customer service, but I was so caught up in something the other day with putting out a fire in the morning. And I was just so caught up in that and so deep in thought about something that I left the house and didn't say goodbye to Rich. And he text messaged me. And he's like, what
Bye.
the fuck?
Are we good? What's happening here?
Yeah, he's like, bye, I think. Like, what?
Yes.
So
Shayna says, and I like what she says, customers need to articulate their needs. Half the time they don't know what they want.
It's true.
Right? I'm looking for a thing that does a thing, and and then finally Alice goes, just shut up. Let me tell him what to shut up.
I love Alice.
Right?
So do you think that there's a big difference between customer experience and customer service, or do you feel like those are going to play off of each other in a harmonious way?
Yeah, I think you can deliver top shelf customer experience.
Mm-hmm.
And again, depending on the day the customer's had or the position they're in, it may not be a good experience for them, right? You may remind them of their dead uncle. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
For a woman to do that's very weird. But anyway, I'm just saying that, all of a sudden, or the way that you said something, reminds them of a bad teacher or something. You know what I mean? So you can hands down and then scratch your head as they walk out like, damn, I thought I killed that, and away they go.
Or how about, it is true, because everybody gets the same service, right? All my clients get the same service, but I have been at a listing appointment where I can come in and be me. I'm always authentically me, because God forbid you're not the same person you were each time, right? You can't go in there being like, and you're really Steph. You can't do that, right? If Steph came in like jovial, like Tim Stewart, right? and then really was this, you'd be like, what, right? So different. But how many times have you gone to, and then the customer is like Steph, and you're like, you can't break through this. Like Steph doesn't let people break this armor unless you've gotten in, right? You have to like put that worm in the computer and break the down. And then you get to the center, right? To the mushy part. But if you don't, and you're only seeing the exterior, sometimes I've left a listing appointment. I'm like, that woman hated me. No laughing at your jokes, or no laughing or asking you. There were one-word answers, and you leave there and you get all in your head. Like, what did I do? Was I not good? But I'm giving them the same experience. They just weren't able to receive it. Exactly like what you were saying.
Yeah. So I don't know if I've shared this story before on this show, but when I was selling insurance in Iowa as a young guy, the old saying was, hey, and this is when people smoked indoors, right? Back in the 1900s. And they're like, my mentor was like, hey, if they light up, they're comfortable with you. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. So I'm there in my shirt and tie, and I've got the young Republican hair with some product in it, all, peeled over. I've got, not wearing glasses. I got contacts at that time. And I pull in, and this guy goes over to his gas stove and lights his Marlboro Red. I don't even mind if I have a smoke. He goes, no. So he hands me that. He goes, you want? And I go, no, I got it. So I walk over to the stove, and I do the same thing. And I'm like, man, that was hot, right? And I'm just sitting there smoking. And I'm giving my sales presentation, giving them great customer service, sales presentation. They can't take their eyes off me. They're like, oh my God. And I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm killing this. Great customer service, great sales pitch. And I go to close, and I'm like, no. And I'm like, throw a couple things back at them. They're just like, no, thanks for coming. So I go out and I get in the car, and I go to back out of their driveway, and I look in my rearview mirror, and I had burnt all the hair on my eyebrows and right up the middle. So I am sitting there just crushing this, and they're just looking at me like, oh, nodding with me, everything. And I'm like, I'm walking out of here making some money tonight. Couldn't. And I get in there, and I'm like, oh, you idiot. I go, no wonder it was hot.
That
literally
is
my eyebrows
hilarious.
and my hair like
Had you like never lit a cigarette off the stove
all
before?
the time. That's
Oh.
why I say, I don't know. I was like, ooh, that's warm.
That is hilarious.
Absolutely had no clue. I didn't smell the burnt hair.
Oh my God. That is,
Oh yeah, how'd you not smell that with the product and everything in your hair? Like,
no,
Jeez.
thank you.
It was that's one of my best stories, because so that's what I mean. I was giving them the best I had, right? And I was getting excited, and I had the momentum because they were just tracking.
Shame
with
on
me.
them for not buying it from you because you had no eyebrows.
Who's your guy? Oh,
No eyebrow.
Yeah,
I would have turned that into like my thing.
don't let him light any cigarettes. Your
No.
homeowner's policy is going to go up for liability.
Seriously.
Absolutely. And I love the stories too. It's almost as good as the cow poop story, but not quite.
You need some serious help.
I tell you, hey, what happens in Iowa stays in Iowa.
So, Don, one of the things that we got to do today is that Bridget, my office manager, it was her birthday yesterday, so we went out
Happy birthday.
We went out for office lunch today. So me and my team did that, and we were able to utilize your new space. So
Yes.
why don't you tell everybody a little bit more about that? Because we went to the ribbon cutting, and as Kent mentioned in the green room, it was like packing like sardines
It
in
was.
there. There was so many people that showed up.
It was
But
great.
10,000 people into an 800 square foot. It was wonderful.
It was great. It was, I really appreciated everybody coming out. It was wonderful. So one of the things about my company is we want to give everybody, make it as easy as possible, what I talked about. So we already had a concierge service where we move your gas, electric, cable, water, trash. We hire a company, they move it from one house to another, or disconnect it if you're not moving to a new place that you need that.
they do it for commercial too.
Yes, we do
They
it
do
for
indeed.
commercial
For
or
when I bought my
residential.
building.
It's free to you, and it's a wonderful thing. If you've ever sat on the phone for ComEd, you want to shoot yourself in the face afterwards, or Xfinity of all places. But so we have a company that does that. And what happened is we had an open house that we had scheduled for our customer, and it was going to be from 12 to 3, and they had 2 big dogs, and they were really frustrated with us. They loved everything about our services until this point, and they weren't mad at us, but it was an inconvenience to have an open house with their dogs. And so the complaint was, where are they going to go? They were going to go to the dog park. They were figuring it out, but then of course it rained. And so you've got 2 big German shepherds that bark incessantly every time they see somebody, and they had to be stuck in a car with them for 3 hours. They came home afterwards and they were irritated. They were pissy. And of course, what happened, it was raining. So like 2 people came to the open house. So we thought, wow, what a horrible problem. And I don't know how to solve it. And I like to solve problems. And so it just was coincident that a space came available. And the thought was, what could we do to utilize this space for our clients? And so we created a concierge suite. And so now if you have an open house and you have dogs or children, or you work from home and you need to leave your house, you may utilize this amazing space that we have, which is the equivalent to a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment with a kitchen and everything, full bathroom. And now we have somebody next week, they're closing on Thursday. They're going to spend the night, use it the next day, until they can get into their new house.
And guys, if you get banned to the couch, it's also a good place.
Yes, we do rent it out, and we do rent it out. But we put a dog run out there. We just can see anything we can have. We have dog beds, dog gates, cat food, cat litter boxes, cat houses, anything you can need. It's got a full house, and then it's got a tabletop video game. It's got Netflix, everything you can need. So it's a convenient spot where people can go and work. If you work from home and you have people coming in and out of your house, go work at the office.
So how many other realtors that you know of in the McHenry or Lake County or Cook County area that offer this?
I believe I was just recently told that this is the only thing that anybody has ever heard in any real estate company globally. I don't think there's any other office that has anything like this.
That's pretty cool.
We're the first of the kind. Now, I have heard that a couple other people are already starting to do it, and that's great. I think that's great. I think that all places should have a convenient spot for people who are inconvenienced to do your job.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
Thank you.
It's a brilliant idea.
It's a pretty cool idea.
Make fun of it. I can't.
I know. I know. I love how you guys like to make fun of me so much. But this one, I will say, it's interesting. Since we've had this, we get calls from realtors all the time asking to schedule showings or questions about property. And I would say 1 out of 2 or 1 out of 3 are like, are you the one with that concierge suite? That was genius. Like, way to go. I wish I had it. Can I rent it out? Is it for your clients only? Yes, it's for my clients only.
Best and highest.
Yes.
Thank you. Best and highest.
Yeah. So I think you'll see more of these types of suites coming up if people have the space for it, but it's a wonderful thing. And it was another way just to give customer service to set us apart from our clients.
I love it. It's good stuff.
Thanks for asking.
I know you guys. You
Dawn said I can't use it though when it comes to selling my house. I could only use it for fun stuff.
Yes, because she's not allowed to move unless she moves somewhere else in McHenry. Yes.
Yeah.
But my children used it the other day. My son had early release at 10:30 the other day, and him and some friends walked to DC Cobb's and had some lunch, and then asked if they can use it. And they watched a movie and they hung out. And of course, the next day I go in there to make sure it's clean, and there's pillows all over the floor. The TV's still on. There's beer nuggets on the table.
Linda's asking if you could put her up there when she's
100%. When Steph annoys you, just come on over.
I'm gonna tell Eli when he gets home from school that grandma doesn't want to do.
Eli's going there too. There's a Pac-Man machine.
He won't leave unless I go.
Oh,
My Bob, he is glued to my mom as soon as she comes in from Arizona. And then my mom's like, oh, well, why don't you come to grandma's house and all this stuff? And he's like, yeah, I want to go to grandma's house and all these things. And he's like, and she's like, okay, but without mommy. And then he's like, ooh, let me look at my schedule.
It's okay. I'll make sure he has all of his favorite treats, Linda, and you bring the cookies because I'm getting one this time. She better bring me some cookies.
She has cookies.
For
What a
me.
Great way to let us go. You know what? My calendar's full right now, Grandma.
Right.
Pajama party on
Linda,
Main
it's
Street.
free for you with a house-shaped cookie or two. Just saying. I know you bought the mold. Okay. All right, I do gotta go.
All right.
right,
Well,
what
so
we
what
learned
did you learn? And then we're gonna wrap up and go because we all gotta
My
go.
aha moment is the exact. I think we all feel the same way that customer service can be improved upon, and it's time to make the generational change to making customer service all around. And that Stephanie is scary. That's what I learned.
I feel, that's impossible. I've known you for like over 5 years, and you're just learning that that's not even possible.
I learned I'm not the only one scared of you. Can't petrify.
I learned that I think that customer service and customer experience, I think, are the same thing. I feel like they're going to go hand in hand because I feel like if somebody's not happy with the experience they had, then they're not going to be happy with the customer service. That doesn't necessarily mean that you provided bad experience or customer service. It could have just not been their flavor.
Yeah.
Their jam.
Yeah.
What I learned is your company better not have Dawn on hold when she's hungry.
Amen.
Because it's not going to end.
Not
well.
going to be good.
It's not going to end.
And
well.
I also want to say that I apologize to anybody I was mean to when I was hungry, or who I will be mean to in the
That's
future
the
when
first
I'm
step.
hungry.
I hope you're in a 12-step.
I'm in a
process.
12-step.
Good.
Thank
All
you.
right, listen, we got to run because everybody's got places to be on this Friday. Get out, enjoy the great weather this weekend, unless, of course, it's raining where you live. Then, oh well. Anyway, we will, tune in on Sunday night. I think we got the Rejects. We've got Tom. Let me tell you something, brother. So always good stuff. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks, y'all.
Bye. Oh, look at us. We're